Hey there! Did you know that Canadian retirees now have access to powerful asset protection tools like the Alter Ego Trust? Alter Ego Trusts are a special type of legal trust, introduced under Canada's Income Tax Act in 2001. And since then, they've quietly become one of the most powerful strategies for protecting your home, your legacy, and your estate from probate delays, interlopers, liens, and unnecessary tax exposure. But Alter Ego Trusts are just one piece of the puzzle. Today, we're going to explore a suite of asset protection strategies, from trusts, revocable and irrevocable, to corporate structures, to legal ownership versus beneficial ownership. Here's a telling quote. Rockefeller didn't rise to billionaire status by paying more tax than he legally owed. He's famous for saying, own nothing, but control everything. In this video, you'll discover how to empower yourself and use these tools to legally safeguard your assets with peace of mind and ensure your wishes are carried out smoothly. We'll walk through the why, the how, and real-world examples so you can act with clarity and confidence. This is about being empowered and enjoying your retirement in a time of big changes. This is educational in nature, not legal or tax advice. Always consult a licensed professional. Do your own research and share with everyone to keep the conversation going to help others. So, how do you actually protect your legacy? It starts by understanding that your legal ownership is what courts, creditors, and probate all latch onto. But when you shift your assets into tools like alter ego trusts and holding corporations, you begin creating a legal firewall while still keeping control. This is what the wealthy do. They separate control from ownership. Strategic planning means putting the right structures in place. A trust that keeps your home safe. One or more corporations that act as legal entities for rental income, business activity, or management fees. You don't have to be a millionaire to do this. You just need to learn a little about how corporations and trusts work, understand the definitions, manage the paperwork, and know when to bring in a lawyer for title transfers or liens. Start early, stay informed. So yes, you can build the structure that fits your life, so you can retire with comfort and peace of mind. This is not about hiding, quite the opposite. It's about protecting what you've built, the smart, legal way, because you are entitled to keep what you've earned, and you can be proud of that. What if protecting your legacy can be broken down into just 4 core pillars? That's exactly what this system does. It's simple, it's legal, and it's incredibly powerful because it separates ownership from control. Here's how it works. 1. You, the individual, 65 and up, acting as settlor, trustee, and beneficiary. 2. Alter Ego Trust, legally owns your home and any personal assets you want protected. 3. Holding Corporation, often based in Alberta or another tax-efficient province, depending on your situation and where you live or do business. 4. Operating Corporation, used for day-to-day business activities or professional services. This isn't just theory. It's a structure the ultra-wealthy rely on, and it's entirely available to everyday Canadians. So here's the real question. Which of these 4 do you already have in place? And which one could you add to give yourself that peace of mind in retirement? Let's take a closer look. Let's bring this home with a real-world example, because theory is great, but results are better. Before putting this plan in place, the home was owned personally. That meant full equity was visible, rental income was on the personal tax return, and if anything happened, lawsuits, creditors, probate, everything was exposed. After restructuring, the home is now held inside an alter ego trust. The Alberta Holding Company registers a lien, a legal charge, making the property look encumbered. This is equity stripping in action. Rental income? It now flows through the corporation. No personal tax reporting, no visibility, and no vulnerability. It's still the same house, but now it's protected, shielded, and set to transfer smoothly without delay, courts, or confusion. This is how legacy planning becomes peace of mind. This is the structure the ultra-wealthy have quietly used for generations. Control without ownership. Protection without risk, and it works because it's legal. Why haven't you heard of it? Because the system isn't designed to teach you strategy. Your banker sells products, your accountant files taxes, your lawyer waits for questions you don't know to ask. No one puts the full picture together for everyday Canadians. Unless you're already rich, the assumption is you don't need this. But you do. You need protection. You need control. And now, you know the blueprint as well. With a little planning, you can secure your home and assets from the various entities engaged in history's biggest wealth transfer schemes of all time. Let's keep going. Let's break this down simply. Legal ownership is whose name shows up on title. It's the name on paper, what the world sees and what creditors or probate courts look for. Beneficial ownership, though, that's who actually uses and enjoys the asset, who lives in it, who makes the decisions, who really benefits. When you create an alter ego trust, you move your home out of your personal name and into the name of the trust. That's a legal ownership change. But here's the part most people don't realize. You still stay in full control. You're the trustee, you're the beneficiary. It's still your home, your life, just no longer in your personal name. Now, if your trust were to earn income, say from a rental suite or investment account, that income would flow through to you personally. That's part of the trust's design. But where it's just your home, fully paid off, and you live in it, there's no income at all, just legal protection. This is how you shield what you've built without giving up control. It's strategy, not secrecy. Let's keep going. What exactly is an alter ego trust? To be clear, it's a special kind of trust created under Section 73-101 of Canada's Income Tax Act that's only available to Canadians age 65 and up. And it's designed to let you move assets out of your personal name without triggering capital gains tax. So if your home or investments have increased in value, you're not forced to pay tax just to restructure for retirement. Now, there are 3 key requirements. You must be 65 or older when the trust is created. Only you, as the settlor, can receive income or capital from it while you're alive, and the trust must be resident in Canada. That's a CRA requirement for tax compliance. But here's where it gets interesting. Assets can transfer into the trust without capital gains tax. They bypass probate entirely. That means no court, no delay, and no public record. And with the right legal design, you get a layer of protection from creditors while still controlling and benefiting from what you've built. The best part? Your estate stays private, and your legacy passes on efficiently on your terms. What does it really mean to own nothing, but control everything? In an alter ego trust, you wear all 3 hats: settlor, trustee, and beneficiary. That means you create the trust, you manage the trust, and you benefit from the trust. But to qualify under the Canadian Income Tax Act, Section 73-1.01, there's a key requirement. You must be the sole beneficiary for the rest of your life. Now, that doesn't mean you have to live in the house alone, or that no one else can step foot on the property, or that you're trapped by the trust. Quite the opposite. You remain in full control. You can live in the home, let someone else stay there, rent it out, or sell it and use the proceeds however you like. As the sole beneficiary, you are simply the only person legally entitled to receive income or capital from the trust during your lifetime. This is what allows the trust to operate under a rollover provision, meaning assets can be transferred into the trust without triggering capital gains tax at the time of transfer. So don't let the legal term sole beneficiary confuse you. It doesn't take away your options, it protects them. You own nothing on paper, but you control everything in practice. And the legal structure backs you up with full compliance under Canadian tax statutes. That's real control. That's real protection. Let's pause here and get something clear. Not all trusts are created equal, and the kind of trust you use matters. In Canada, revocable trusts, like the alter ego trust, are governed by Section 73-1 of the Income Tax Act, created by statute, not secrecy. These aren't loopholes. They're established legal vehicles designed by Parliament, tested by time, and sitting in plain view. Now, an alter ego trust is a revocable trust, meaning you can change it, revoke it, add or remove assets, and and stay fully in control during your lifetime. That flexibility is exactly why it's used for retirement and estate planning, especially when protecting your principal residence. But what about irrevocable trusts? Well, those can't be changed once established. You surrender control. That's not a flaw, it's by design. Irrevocable trusts are better suited for complex estate freezes, long-term wealth transfers, or legacy planning across generations. If you're a business owner locking in tax strategy for heirs or managing a high-value estate with corporate shareholdings, then yes, an irrevocable trust might be on your roadmap. But if your goal is protection, control, and probate bypass without triggering capital gains, then a revocable alter ego trust is likely your most powerful tool. Older Canadians remember when trusts were mainly used by wealthy families and corporations. But over the past 25 years, statutes evolved, making these tools available to anyone who qualifies, not just those with seven-figure estates. So then, if this is your first time hearing it laid out like this, you're not alone. The curtain's being pulled back, not because the rules changed, but because you're finally being shown what's always been there. And up next, we'll take this foundation and add a second protective layer, the corporate lien. Stay with us. You're not behind. You're becoming dangerously informed. For many Canadians, especially homeowners and those who have worked hard and saved for a rainy day, the biggest threat isn't running out of money. It's being too easy to reach, especially these days. When your personal name is on the title, your equity becomes fair game for lawsuits, tax collectors, even long-term care cost recovery. And sadly, the wrong people know how to take advantage or scam seniors out of their hard-earned savings and investments. That's where a structure like the alter ego trust begins to help. It's time to work smarter, not harder. As you enter your 60s and 70s, the biggest financial risk is no longer your investment portfolio. It's your exposure to different kinds of risk, to lawsuits, government-related foreclosures, to personal guarantees, to probate grabs, to long-term care clawbacks, to blended family battles. And once you're retired, your toolbox is smaller. You're not earning, but your assets, they're just sitting ducks. The alter ego trust moves your home out of your personal name, but keeps you in full control. And when you add a registered lien from your own corporation, you've just made yourself a very unappealing target. This isn't complicated, it's just hidden, and now you know too. What if protecting your assets wasn't about hiding, but about structuring? There's a reason Section 73 1.01 of Canada's Income Tax Act allows you to transfer your home into a trust with no capital gains. It's not a loophole. It's a policy that the well-advised use all the time. And when combined with proper legal and corporate steps, this three-layer strategy reduces your risk without losing control. You hold fewer assets in your personal name. Your trust holds title to your home and assets, and your corporation can register a lien to guard it. Once you understand the structure, you start to see the Canadian system differently, and that's where empowerment begins. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. Marcel Proust. Ever heard of a lien? It's a legal tool dating back centuries. Once it's registered against a property, it publicly says, "This asset is already spoken for." In this strategy, you control both sides of the lien. The trust owns the home, and your company holds the charge. It's like locking your front door from the inside and the outside. So if someone tries to come knocking with a lawsuit, they'll see the property is already encumbered and walk away. Equity stripping is one of the oldest asset protection strategies. Owners retain control and enjoyment of a property while making the property unattractive to those trying to satisfy judgments. Investopedia. If you're planning to protect your home through a trust, you'll need a corporation to hold and register the lien, and this slide shows you why. It might look complicated, but it's not. Alberta offers the lowest corporate tax rate in the country, just 8%, if the company's active, and no provincial sales tax in Alberta. Bonus! That's why it's such a popular choice for holding or consulting companies, even if you live elsewhere. If you already run a business, you may want a second, clean corporation to keep risk and protection separate. And if you've never incorporated before, one simple registered company is all you need. Think of it as a legal friend to your trust, with a lifelong paperwork commitment, which is minimal and does not require a lawyer or an accountant. This video is to empower you so you know when you need to consult a licensed professional and when you don't. The fact is, a passive holding company that registers a lien but earns no income, pays no tax, and only minimal annual filings to stay compliant. Now you've seen how the trust, the corporation, and the lien all fit together. Your home is held by the alter ego trust. Your corporation registers a lien against it. This creates legal separation from you personally, not secrecy, but structure. You keep control. You keep the principal residence exemption. You file a T3 and T2 each year, and the trust pays any capital gains when the time comes. But here's what this doesn't do. It doesn't stop statutory charges like unpaid property taxes. Under Section 370 of BC's Municipal Act, those attach directly to the land, no matter who owns it. So stay involved, stay current, and stay protected. This setup won't stop a runaway municipality, but it will stop an opportunistic lawsuit. When your name's on a will, it becomes public the moment you pass. Who got what and how much can be searched by anyone. But a properly structured alter ego trust keeps your affairs private and skips the probate court entirely. In British Columbia alone, that can save your estate 1.4% in fees and months of delay. With trillions in wealth about to transfer from boomers to the next generation, privacy and precision matter more than ever. This isn't just estate planning, it's protecting your legacy before it's too late. The truth? This structure only works if your paperwork is airtight. You'll need a trust deed that meets CRA rules under Section 248(1) of the Income Tax Act, naming you as settlor, trustee, and lifetime beneficiary. Next, file the right land title transfer forms, with proper tax exemption codes if you're in BC. Your corporation needs clean articles, resolutions, and registrations. And to lock it all down, register a lien, with a written promissory note and Form C at the Land Title Office. You can do a lot of this yourself, and you should. Draft your trust deed using a vetted template, then bring it to a lawyer or notary to execute. Prep your land title transfer forms, property tax exemption, and promissory note, and only pay for the stamps you legally need. Your corporation? Fully DIY. No lawyer required. Register your lien at the Land Title Office, and consider a legal review if you're unsure. And for tax filings, if you're confident, do it yourself. If not, hire a pro, once a year. The system wasn't designed to make this easy, but now you know how to beat it. On your terms. Do it right, or don't do it at all. Let's be honest, this isn't rocket science, but there are a few traps that can trip you up. Create the trust too early, before age 65, and you lose the tax advantages. Miss the paperwork, and your protection doesn't hold up. Blend your personal stuff with the trust, and you could unravel the whole structure. But here's the good news. AI tools and templates can help you stay organized. You don't need a team of lawyers and accountants, just a clear plan, ability to research and ask pointed questions, good records, and the willingness to learn. The Legal Society may have designed the system for their benefit, but you can play the game too and win. Each stage in this timeline builds on the last. Before 65, you're just setting the stage. Draft documents, create your corporation, and get organized with precision. Sign, transfer, and file. Then shift into protection mode. Register your lien, notify institutions, update insurance. And after that, it's just maintenance. A few annual filings and the occasional review to keep everything compliant and strong. With the right guidance, a few good templates and modern tools, even AI, you can do most of this yourself. It's not a wall of legal complexity, it's just a checklist. One move at a time, like a good game of chess. This is supposed to be your time to enjoy the fruits of your labor, So do it. What does this actually cost? Setting up an alter ego trust and your lien holding corporation will typically run you between $3,500 and $6,000 in Canada, depending on whether you use a lawyer, a templated kit, or do most of the paperwork yourself. That includes your custom trust deed, which must comply with Income Tax Act Section 248 Sub 1, land title forms like BC's Form 41, and your corporate filings and lien registration. And then there's maintenance, about $1,000 to $2,000 a year if you hire professionals to file your trust and corporate returns. But if you keep your own records, use AI tools, and file on time, you can slash those costs dramatically. And here's the kicker. Probate fees in BC are 1.4% of the gross estate value. So if your home is worth $1 million, this structure pays for itself. Consider this like legal insurance. It's not just about saving taxes. It's about shielding your most important asset. Do it solo. Do it with friends. But above all, do it with your eyes open. Here we are, at the heart of it. As Savielly Tartakower famously said, tactics is knowing what to do when there is something to do. Strategy is knowing what to do when there is nothing to do. The average Canadian can learn to play corporate chess. It's not too late. We are right on time, but there's no time to waste. Privacy and control. Your home is legally invisible to outsiders. The title lists a trust, not your name. You still control everything, but your estate is shielded. Government resistant, not government proof. No structure blocks all risk, but this structure creates legal separation. A trust owns it. A lien is registered. You're stepping off the battlefield into a fortress. DIY on purpose. Don't wait for high-priced lawyers to sell you your own rights. Use templates. Use AI. Form a peer help group. Prepare your files so that when professionals are needed, you're not handing over a blank check. You're showing up organized and informed. Layers of legal protection. Trust holds title, corporation holds a lien. 2 layers, that's enough to discourage most challenges. It's not hidden, it's fortified territory. Bonus fact, former central banker and Canada's new Prime Minister Mark Carney reportedly has controls or investments in over 567 organizations. In other words, the well-informed build structures before they become news. This isn't about hiding. It's about choosing your terms and sovereignty planning so you aren't playing compliance roulette. The trust is your queen, and she is powerful. The lien is your legal knight who knows how to castle. Knowledge, that's all the other pieces on the board. Have fun winning. Nobody taught us this stuff. Not our parents, not school, not the so-called experts who have paid over the years. But now you know, and once you know, you can't unknow. This isn't about beating the system. It's about refusing to be trapped by it. With the right tools, a few templates, and a strong circle, you don't need to hand over your power. You can build something smarter, legally, quietly, confidently. And if you're still listening, you're one of us. So don't vanish into the scroll. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Tell us what part hit home, ask a question, challenge something, join the conversation. If there's enough interest, we'll build the community that never existed for people like us, together, but independently. Because sovereignty starts at home, and this is Project Stronger You. If this resonates, or you know someone who might benefit from this knowledge, please share. Let's make sure others are empowered as well.